Hi everybody, in today's video we're going to start setting up for YouTube. Hi everybody, my name's Tom Fricker and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. For the past couple of months, I've been thinking about setting up a YouTube channel based on photography. I've been thinking about everything I would need to put in place to be able to create content to share with you, and I thought that in itself might be quite an interesting thing to share. In this series, I'll go through all of the considerations I've had to take to get my YouTube channel going. For instance, how am I going to capture video? How am I going to capture audio? The space I need to set up to be able to create video content in, and also then things like branding. Let's start by how I intend to capture video. As I'm setting up a photography-based YouTube channel, camera equipment is something I'm not actually lacking in. My main camera for recording video will be my Sony A7 III. This camera is capable of capturing very high quality video, so it will be of massive use to me. As at times my main camera will need to be in shot with me, this is a photography based channel, I will need a camera which I can use as a secondary to record that content. I intend to use my little Sony A6000. This is quite an old camera and doesn't necessarily take amazing video, but it should be fine for creating B-roll and videoing static footage of me taking photos with my main camera. I also have a GoPro Hero 4, which whilst it is an old model of GoPro and can't take 4K video, might come in handy should I need to create an alternative angle or, who knows, get into something more action oriented. Whilst my Sony A7 III can take very high quality 4K video, my Sony A6000 and GoPro are limited to 1080. Due to this, I actually intend to film everything in 1080. I don't necessarily want to be dealing with video in different qualities, and also 4K video takes a huge amount of processing power to edit, something which I don't necessarily have. Lens-wise, I have a couple of different options I can use across my cameras. I generally use Tamron lenses on my Sony A7 III. They're brilliant and they're not massively expensive compared to the Sony equivalents. And on the A6000, I generally use Sigma primes. I won't go into these in this video, but if you're interested in hearing my thoughts about them, please leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. Moving on to audio. I had to make a couple of purchases when it came to recording audio, because notoriously in-camera audio is poor quality. I needed to think about the situations I was going to film in. At times I'll be speaking directly to the camera like this, so potentially had to look at microphones that could contend with that kind of situation, but at other times I may be further away from the camera and therefore need to think about how I'm going to capture audio separately and add it into the video at a later time. So as mentioned, I had to make a couple of purchases. The first thing I bought was this Takstar shotgun microphone. I did a lot of research on this and there's a lot of YouTube content out there about this microphone and it seemed like a really good option at a very good budget. I bought this on Amazon in the UK for around £25, but looking in the US you can pick it up for about $23. This will be perfect for this kind of talking head type situation that I find myself in now. I also needed a lavalier microphone to deal with situations where I'm not going to be close enough to the camera for the shotgun microphone to work. I picked up this lavalier microphone, which is a Boya BY-M1. It came with great recommendation across all of the YouTube videos I looked at, and it's actually relatively inexpensive, coming in at around £15 or $20 in this situation. This microphone provides a great option because it can be used plugged directly into a camera, but also can be used plugged into a smartphone, meaning that I can record sound remotely and mix in later on in the editing process. Now I'm actually recording with both of these microphones because I'm not sure which I'm actually going to use in my final video, but here's a demonstration of them both. This is the audio from the Takstar, I hope it sounds great, and this is the audio from the lavalier microphone. What does that sound like? And the one I ended up using ultimately was lighting wise, I'm using a single LED panel that I've had for a number of years. This is really useful to me. I can place it either on top of the camera or separately on a tripod if I need to create a separate angle of light. And when it comes to tripods, again, as this is a photography channel, I have a number of these. I won't bore you with the detail now, but if you're interested in hearing any more about them, please leave me a comment below and maybe I'll make a separate video on them. Now, finally for this video, let's think about a space where I want to create YouTube content. I have a family and I also have a day job, which really limits the amount of time I can spend setting things up and then recording. So I need a space where I can leave everything set up and ready to go, and then quickly sit down, hit record and start producing content to share with you. Luckily the house I live in has a basement, And that's a perfect place for me to be able to create my studio. Let's go and check it out. So guys, as you can see, this basement is very much a blank canvas. There's nothing on the walls. It's essentially just a white box which I can really think about how I want to decorate and light to create some interesting scenes in which to create video content. Decoration wise, as I'm starting a photography channel, it makes sense for me to look at my own work and see if I can get some large prints hung on the walls to create interesting backdrops in front of which I can create video content. Lighting wise, it's a bit of a nightmare down here because we've got these very harsh LED lights which don't make for a very interesting lighting scene and also create all kinds of havoc when it comes to video flicker, which to be honest with you I just don't want to have to deal with. So I'm going to have to put a lot of thought into exactly how I want to light this basement, again to really complement any kind of decoration I put in place to create those scenes in front of which I can create video content. Computer wise, as you will have seen, I have my desk set up down here. This is predominantly where I work if I'm working from home. I have my iMac down here, which I think I'll be using heavily for creating video content and really doing demonstrations around photographs and potentially editing and that kind of thing. I also have a MacBook Pro, which I'll be using at times to time, especially if I'm on the go and need to sort of edit on the fly. And I also have my Mac Mini set up down here. My Mac Mini, which you will have seen on my desktop, is also plugged into a hard drive, and that's really what I use for redundancy purposes. I'm not going to go into that too much today, but I think I'll probably make a video another time to show you exactly how I ensure everything's stored and secure and I don't lose anything. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and hopefully it's been useful to you guys who might be considering setting up your own YouTube channel. If you have enjoyed it, please consider subscribing and hit the like button below. And if you have any questions or feedback, please leave them in the comment section. And until next time, have a great day.